you be is where they need to be. Salute the Emperor Star should take you far no matter where you are. Moon Day coming up, man. Sacred space, all in your face, man. Who you with Wednesdays? We got some new topics coming up. I'm the co-host for that. You know what I'm saying? Emperor Star, she's doing her thing. Salute the Emperor Star. Today we have another excellent topic. You know what I'm saying? Another excellent random topic. You know what I'm saying? Emotional intelligence versus emotional stamina. And yeah. I know that's a word. Emotional intelligence, you know, is a word that's used a lot lately. So, well, it's been the last few years been used heavily. So, let's go ahead and want to do what we do best. Get into all the specifics of the this and that. Yeah, man. We're gonna go share real quick, and we'll go ahead and get in and out of here. All right. One. Okay. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Emotional intelligence. Most people throw that word around or that phrase around. You know what I mean? Let's go and get to the specifics versus emotional intelligence, emotional stamina. Emotional, emotional stamina versus emotional intelligence. These two concepts are closely related, however, have key differences. Here's the bust down. Emotional intelligence, EI, um, definition, the ability to recognize, understand, manage, and express emotions in yourself and others. Key skills: self-awareness, empathy, emotional regulation, social skills, motivation. Example in action. You notice you are getting frustrated in a conversation. However, instead of lashing out, you take a deep breath and communicate your feelings calmly. Purpose: to navigate emotions wisely, building healthy relationships, making sound decisions, and managing stress constructively. Emotional stamina, ES, definition: the endurance to stay emotionally strong and present through prolonged stress, setbacks, and or emotional challenges. Key traits: resilience, patience, emotional endurance, grit under emotional strain, persistence through heartache or stress. Example in action: you keep showing up to support your family or community while dealing with personal pain or fatigue without emotionally shutting down. Purpose: um, to withstand emotional hardship without breaking down or giving up. Key differences: aspect, um, emotional intelligence, focus, EI, understanding and managing emotions. Emotional stamina, ES, enduring emotional pressure or fatigue. Use case: emotional intelligence, communication, conflict resolution, empathy. ES, long-term struggle, stress, trauma. Requires awareness, sensitivity. Emotional intelligence requires awareness, sensitivity, and tact. Emotional stamina, strength, discipline, consistency. Example: emotional intelligence, calming yourself during an argument, etc. Emotional stamina, pushing forward during grief or burnout. Why both matter, especially for Black people. Emotional intelligence helps us navigate racism, microaggressions, and misunderstandings with strategic wisdom. Emotional stamina helps us withstand long-term oppression, generational trauma, and systemic stress without giving up. Together, they build both strategy and strength. One gives clarity, the other gives endurance. Mastering both is emotional mastery, a powerful tool in personal healing, family building, and collective liberation. Liberation for the nation. Alright, important. Okay, emotional intelligence and emotional stamina. Why they're crucial for Black people. For Black people, emotional, especially in a world shaped in systemic racism, general trauma, and social pressure, mastering both emotional intelligence and emotional stamina is not just important, it's survival and liberation work. Why? Why emotional intelligence is vital for Black people. A. Navigating oppression with wisdom. Helps identify and manage emotions triggered by racism, microaggressions, and injustice. Prevents being, quote unquote, emotionally baited, end quote, into self-destruction, e.g., overreacting at work, school, or with police, etc. Strength B. Strengthening communication and community. Builds bridges between Black men and women, elders and youth, different generations. Helps avoid conflict in already fractured communities. C. Heals generational trauma. Emotional intelligence allows you to notice patterns and emotional pain passed down. Create space for healing instead of repeating cycles. D. Builds leadership. Builds leadership. Leaders who are emotionally intelligent uplift, inspire, and protect, not dominate or destroy. Two, why emotional stamina is vital for Black people. Endurance through systemic stress. Black people face daily emotional pressure from media, inequality, and survival struggles. Emotional stamina helps us keep going without becoming numb or broken. Persistence and purpose and progress. Whether you're raising a child, starting a business, or children, or starting a business, or organizing a community, emotional fatigue is real. I got to do a show. We're gonna do a show on emotional fatigue. Um, hold on, y'all. Hold on for a second. Yep, just wrote that down. Emotional fatigue. Emotional stamina lets you move forward even when life feels heavy. C, protection from burnout. Activists, single mothers, community leaders, and workers often carry emotional loads for entire families or movements. Stamina keeps the fire lit when the world tries to snuff it out. Resistance against generational trauma. Some of the trauma runs deep, and emotional stamina is how you confront it without collapsing. Together, they make a weapon and a healer. Emotional intelligence, strategic wisdom, navigate conflict calmly, heal your inner world, connect and unify. Emotional stamina, spiritual endurance, push through pain, fight for outer peace, hold the line. How it impacts the community. Black men learn to lead with heart and handle pressure without shutting down. Black women preserve their spirit while bearing heavy burdens. Black youth gain the tools to face a harsh world without losing themselves. Black elders pass on wisdom without bitterness. Final thought, emotional intelligence makes you wise. Emotional stamina makes you unbreakable. Together, they make you unstoppable. Here's a breakdown of the importance of emotional intelligence, EI, and emotional stamina is specifically for Black men, Black women, and Black youth, tailored for the challenges, etc. Black men, why emotional intelligence is crucial. Breaks the quote-unquote emotional silence, end quote, code often taught to Black boys to quote-unquote man up or quote-unquote don't cry. Helps communicate with partners, children, and brothers without violence, shutdowns, and coldness or coldness. Builds leadership based on clarity, not ego or control. Improves mental health by naming emotions instead of suppressing them. While emotional stamina is crucial, keeps keeps you going through racism, rejection, incarceration, trauma, or lack of support. Helps you stay grounded while carrying the pressures of being a protector / provider. Allows you to hold emotional weight without turning cold, distant, or aggressive. Strengthens your ability to stay present for your family, your healing, and your purpose. Benefit. A powerful black man who is emotionally grounded can protect, build, and lead without destroying what he loves in the process. Black women, why emotional intelligence is crucial. Helps break the quote-unquote strong Black woman, end quote, survival mask by identifying emotions before they explode or cause burnout. Allows vulnerability and softness to re-emerge without guilt. Improves communication and relationships and generational healing with mothers, daughters, and sons. Empowers you to set boundaries with love instead of rage. or exhaustion. Why emotional intelligence is crucial. Supports the emotional toll of motherhood, community leadership, and being the quote unquote backbone for everyone, end quote. Helps process trauma from sexism, racism, abandonment, and heartbreak without shutting down. Fuels resilience without self sacrifice. Let's see. Builds capacity to heal and pour into yourself first so others don't drain you. Benefit. A black woman without emotional strength and wisdom becomes a, a black woman with emotional strength and wisdom becomes a healer, teacher, and or liberator, not just a survivor. Black youth. Why emotional intelligence is crucial. Teaches how to express pain, anger, or confusion without self-harm or violence. Gives young people gives young people tools to navigate a world that often misunderstands or understands or fears them. Builds self-awareness and self-worth early on. Helps them avoid traps like toxic relationships, gangs, and emotional shutdowns. Why emotional stamina is crucial. Helps them Why emotional stamina is crucial. Helps them endure bullying, peer pressure, school inequality, and trauma from unstable homes or communities. Gives them the patience to grow, not give up. Trains them to stand tall in their identity even when the world tries to break them. Develops inner power that lasts beyond childhood. Alright. Benefit. A black youth with emotional stamina and intelligence becomes a conscious, self-aware warrior, not another lost statistic. Ain't that something? Final word. Black men, black women, and black youth all face unique emotional battles. However, when they each master emotional intelligence plus emotional stamina, they stop reacting to the system. They start reclaiming their story. Begin building a new future together. Okay, here's another breakdown of why emotional intelligence or emotional stamina are essential for black relationships, black love, and black wealth. Here's another standpoint and perspective on it. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you share, make sure you donate. Emotional intelligence encourages healthy communication, not yelling, stonewalling, or passive aggression. Helps partners truly listen, empathize, and overstand instead of just reacting. Promotes accountability instead of blame or defensiveness. Heals inner childhood wounds that often show up in relationships, abandonment, distrust, emotional distance, etc. Supports emotional safety so both partners can be valuable without judgment or stereotypes or stigmas. When black couples develop emotional intelligence, they build unity, not trauma bonds. Ain't that something? Emotional stamina helps couples endure through stress, setbacks, betrayal, or financial hardships without giving up on love. Strengthens the ability to stay and grow through storms rather than running away or shutting down. Gives them maturity to remain present, loyal, and committed in the long haul. Helps break generational cycles of broken homes, emotional abandonment, and distrust. Love without emotional stamina won't last. Love without emotional intelligence won't grow. Oof, brick and mortar balls. Black wealth and prosperity. Emotional intelligence reduces impulsive financial behavior, spending to cope, competing, showing off, etc. Helps families and partners have open conversations about money, goals, and budgeting. Builds trust in business partnerships by developing integrity, empathy, and professionalism. Aids in legacy thinking, knowing when to give up, save, invest, and uplift the next generation. Money flows better when emotions are under control. Emotional stamina fuels long-term wealth building, saving, investing, building businesses, or climbing careers without quitting. Helps endure the emotional toll of being black in business, corporate spaces, and or trying to break generational poverty. Strengthens focus through setbacks like rejection, debt, racism, or family disbelief. Disbelief keeps you from folding under pressure when building something long term, be it real estate, family wealth, or a side hustle. Building wealth takes more than money. Building wealth takes more than money. Building wealth takes more than money. It takes emotional power to hold it and grow it. Final insight, area, emotional intelligence, love, inner overstanding, communication, trust, relationship, healing, empath, emotional awareness, wealth, financial discipline, trust, clarity, emotional stamina, love, loyalty, endurance, maturity, relationship, emotional stamina, conflict resolution, staying power, emotional intelligence, wealth, grit, patience, long-term vision, emotional wisdom builds. We got a show coming up on that. Builds the house, because that might be part two. Emotional wisdom builds the house. Emotional strength keeps it from collapsing. Overall overview of emotional intelligence and emotional stamina for Black people. In a world where Black people face centuries of systemic oppression, etc., emotional trauma, and generational pressure, mastering both emotional intelligence and emotional stamina is a revolutionary form of healing, power, and transformation. Emotional intelligence, the ability to understand, manage, and express emotions, both your own and others. What it builds: healthy communication, and comprehension. Remember, we said comprehension and application, empathy and connection, self-awareness and emotional control, healing from generational trauma, leadership with wisdom, not ego, emotional stamina, the capacity to endure emotional pain, pressure, and fatigue without collapsing or shutting down. It strengthens resilience in hard times, patience in long-term struggles, consistency in love, family, and purpose, ability to carry your legacy through storms, strength to keep showing up despite trauma. Why it matters across all areas of Black life. Why it matters across all areas of Black life. Group area. Emotional intelligence. Black men. Breaks emotional silence, builds trust and leadership. Black women. Replaces survival mode with softness and boundaries. Black youth helps them process pain and find identity. Black relationships builds understanding, intimacy, and communication, clear communication. Black wealth controls financial emotions, and promotes planning. Emotional stamina. Black men carries emotional weight without folding. Black women, emotional stamina, endures burden while protecting spirit. Black youth, emotional stamina, resist emotional collapse under social pressure. Black relationships, emotional stamina, keeps love alive through hardship and stress. Emotional stamina when it comes to Black wealth, powers through poverty, setbacks, and rejection. Emotional intelligence makes you wise. Emotional stamina makes you strong. Together they make you unbreakable. Why this is revolutionary for Black people. It breaks generational curses of silence, abandonment, and chaos. It builds healthier families, relationships, and communities. It fortifies wealth building and legacy making efforts. It allows us to feel deeply without being controlled by emotions. It is the emotional armor and spiritual fuel to survive, rise, and thrive. Final word. Final word. Final word. Final word. What the system tried to destroy in us emotionally, we must rebuild intentionally. Black healing starts with emotional mastery, not just for ourselves, however, for every generation that comes after. All right, y'all. I told y'all this was gonna be brief. I'm gonna start doing more brief shows, man. Y'all ain't gonna get hours and hours of shows out of me, man. You know what I mean? For I'm just saying we got to start seeing some donations and some support and sharing of the content and things of that nature. Yeah. So peace and abundance and cosmic mind you be.